Hi everyone, welcome back to 10 minutes daily English conversation practice with me. I've got a whole lot of interesting content in this series for you guys, and today is also going to be another interesting one. Well, the rule is I take up general topics or daily English conversation topics or the conversation which I have with my friends or vendors or anybody, on this planet. Anybody and everybody I have conversation with. I pick up those conversations and I talk about it in front of you so that you also can speak on it, repeat after me, speak with me, shadow with me, or you can take that idea and topic, come up with your own ideas, or take my ideas, come up with a script, start talking about it for 10 minutes every day. So these are real life conversation topics. So it's easier for you to get into the practice of speaking so that tomorrow if something comes up, you will be able to speak English fluently and confidently about that topic. And since we all know while having a conversation, we generally talk about any incident which has happened to us or any experience we have had or any event or any function we have attended or we remember anything about our childhood, about our shopping experience or anything, our likes and dislikes. We all talk about all these things, our travel plans or anything of that sort. We talk about all these topics basically, right? So that is why I've taken up those topics and I come up and speak on it so that it's easier for you to practice every day for 10 minutes so that it will be convenient for you to talk about it later when the topic comes up with others also in English. So guys, welcome back to my channel. I am your communications coach and a soft skill trainer by profession, and I'm here to help you out with all your communications problems and to help you speak English fluently and confidently. Today's topic is about a real life story. So yesterday me and my husband were discussing about whether it is easy to start a business or it is difficult to start a business. So we were debating on this issue, whether it is good to start a business, it is not good to start a business, how beneficial it is, how difficult or how easy it is. So we were discussing and debating on this topic, and suddenly my husband told me two stories about two different vendors of the success and failures. And I'm going to talk about those stories with you today. IT parks and IT companies, there are a lot of food vendors with their carts outside, right outside the building on the road, so that people come out and eat something from them. They have cafeterias also inside, so there also vendors are there. So you can find vendors outside, you can find vendors inside, right? So whoever works in that building or the company, they go out also for snacks and lunch or dinner, whatever time it is. So they go out to have food and they stay in the cafeteria also. They go to the cafeteria also to have food, right? So so one day my husband went outside to have some tea and snacks. So this vendor was very talkative and he started telling his story about how he came here and how he established himself, or what are his dreams about. So basically, he was from a small town, a village, and some people from his village have come here and established their own, stalls, food stalls here. So he also got encouraged. They encouraged him also to come along with them, and he can stay at their place and he can start something of his own, do something of his own. So he came along with them, he stayed with them, and he came up with a tea stall in front of that building or that company. He was a very hard working guy. So what he did was, he has a cart there, tea stall. So he had a small tea stall which was on a cart. So what he used to do is, he used to stay there 24/7. He used to sleep also there on a bench. There was a bench. He kept a bench there. So he said that, I sleep also here. So whenever if people, there are night shifts also there in the companies, right? So whoever come at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, if people come here and they ask me to make tea, I get up and immediately I make tea and serve it to them. So he was so hardworking that he thought of staying there. He kept a bench. He used to sleep there. And he used to work 24/7. See guys, how difficult their lives are, right? They have a pressure that they have to earn and they have to send money back to their homes also, earn for their own expenses also. right? They send money to their at home as well. So they have a lot of pressure, guys. That is why when you talk to them, you'll get to know how difficult situations they are in, and they overcome it so happily, right? So this guy used to stay there, and he has collected money, and then he saved some money from that, and he started another cart. So he started two tea stalls there. See, so probably he saved money. He didn't spend money much. He earned, he saved, and he started another cart. That also started growing. Later on, he thought of starting something different, and he put up a third stall of Maggie. And you know, guys, outside the company premises, Maggie is a hot cake, hot selling cake, right? People eat Maggie. We have eaten Maggie a lot, right? So Maggie is something which people eat a lot outside office premises, right? So he had set up third stall of Maggie. So this way he has grown his business. He had this idea. He was very hardworking. He was very forward thinking. So he, earned, he saved, and he started a new business and the third business, and grew his business accordingly. And then he became successful, right? He was telling my husband that now he has his own house at his hometown, in his hometown. He has built a new house in his hometown, right? He was so proud of it, and he was so happy to, tell this to my husband. So he was so happily telling his story, his success story, or his struggle story. He was so happy about it that my husband was also like, he started thinking that, wow, my husband also got very impressed by him. So this is one story which is about how people become successful. They have to be you have to think differently basically. If you think differently, right, you will definitely become successful in life. And you have to be a forward thinker as well. You have to think way ahead of times. The second story which my husband told me was about a vendor who was in the cafeteria. He had a stall in the cafeteria. So he used to make parathas, and those parathas were very famous. There were other people also, other staffs also there in that stall, but people preferred eating paratha made by him only. So my husband told me that, of course, during rush hours, there's no option, right? But when he used to stay back late, during dinner time, or sometimes early in the morning, if he used to go there, then he used to be there. So they got time to talk to each other, and people went and, asked for him only to make parathas, because people started noticing him that he makes good parathas. So they often, when they came there, they used to ask him only to make parathas for them. So slowly he became very famous there in the cafeteria, that he makes good parathas. So people started talking to him, and they started telling him, advising him that he can open a stall of his own. He can come up with a cart probably outside the premises and all. So he also was very, excited about it. He thought of he started thinking about coming up with his own venture and own cart or something. Probably he might have saved some money, and he did put up a stall outside. He came up with a cart, a paratha cart outside the premises. But then it didn't work for him. But then he was not very successful in that venture. For some times he stayed there, he made parathas, but it was not very famous. He didn't become that famous, and his business didn't pick up. So after some time, when he realized that it is not working, he left that business and he went and started something else. He started doing something else. So he was not there then. So this is another story. Now, reason may be many. There might be many reasons, right? Maybe competition, or probably parathas were not very, people were not very fond of having parathas outside. They might prefer having it in the cafeterias. So there are lots of situations and circumstances which influence a business, right? What people think, what they prefer to eat outside. Probably people prefer to eat some snacks, Maggie, tea outside. There are lots of things. So you have to, before starting a business, you have to analyze a lot of things, right? So probably he might have gone wrong in analyzing and judging situation. So it didn't work out for him. So guys, these are some stories which we often get to know when we visit somewhere, when we go out and eat from small vendors, or we go out and eat in the cafeteria at our offices or colleges, we get to know a lot of stories. From dabba walas also, we get to know a lot of stories. Or if you don't know any stories, go and start talking to them, to pani puri walas or chaat walas or bhel walas. So you can start talking to these small vendors, right? And you will get to know how they established their business. Or a tea stall, you can talk to that person. They all are very friendly. They want to speak up. They want to tell their stories. They're very eager to tell their stories, and they very happily tell their stories, right? So you can just try and talk to a few people and get to know their stories and speak about it for 10 minutes in English. So that will be a practice session for you. You will find it very interesting also, and it will help you to improve your English fluency and confidence. So guys, all in all, there's no harm in doing this, right? You will enjoy the process. You will enjoy listening to their stories. You will enjoy speaking about it. And if tomorrow, if something comes up, if you are discussing something with other people in English, you can always tell these stories to them also. And everybody loves to hear stories. And these stories are something which everybody wants to know, right? How these small vendors become successful, how these people grow their business, what they earn, how they earn, what are their challenges, etc., etc. So guys, start looking for these stories. Start looking for these kind of stories around you. You have a lot of house help. You have a lot of vendors. You have a lot of people who come to your house, right? Or you meet outside. Go and talk to them about their lives and start speaking on it for 10 minutes. It's really going to help you guys. It's really going to help you. Start it from today and right now. Keep learning and keep practicing. See you. Bye-bye.